Yeah. So again, I'm Adam. I love y'all. I know Thanksgiving. I wasn't here last week. And sorry, this is Mike. I'll introduce him in a second. But usually we are up there. But actually, the first few weeks, I know you remember, we were actually up here. So this man I asked to come out tonight. I love him very much. I've known him about 10 years, and I haven't been clean 10 years. So, I got 6 years and some change. And, one thing is, he always comes up to me and he's seen me grow and seen me change. And he always lets me know that. But, I've seen him go through things in the last 10 years too. And I don't know, the program's remarkable. I love him. This is Mike. Mike?
Yeah. Thank you, Adam. My name is Mike. I'm an addict, and I don't care who knows it, as long as I don't forget it. The bottom line is, recovery works for me, and it's been working for me for now over 40 years. And I tell you that I would not have been here for as long as I have if it didn't work. If I didn't continue to see how blessed I am. I was talking to a therapist a couple of days ago, and I said, I go through these periods sometimes where I start to fall into these doldrums, where I start to feel, like, what am I here for? I mean, what can I do? He said, well, Mike, you have helped so many people. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, my life was all about me in the beginning. My recovery, early recovery, was about me. But then somewhere along the way, I started to think more about what can I do outside of me to help somebody else grow. And that's been my life for the last 30-something years, is sponsoring people, speaking at meetings, speaking around the country, speaking at conventions, spreading the word that recovery is the way to go. Now, when I got here, it was many, many, many years ago, and recovery wasn't as popular as it is now. I went through various treatment centers. I went through programs where people were actually mandated to go there, where we to go to court and the judge said you can go spend 2 years at this treatment center or you can take 10 years in penitentiary. And of course, people would say, give me the 2 years in a treatment center. And that was kind of like forced type of recovery. And that doesn't really work. You go to meetings and you go and do what they ask you to do because you're trying to dodge a sentence or try to get out of trouble. But your mind and heart's not in it. Well, NA is different. And I'm going to tell you, NA happened for me because of this last statement where I thought I was in a detox in New York. And an NA meeting came in. And that was so many years ago that I hadn't even heard of NA. I heard of AA, and matter of fact, back then they had CA, and then they also had one in the New York area called DA, Drugs Anonymous. And so what happened was they came into this detox that I was in Central General Hospital out on Long Island. And this reading right here stays with me. Why are we here? Because at the bottom, it says, after coming to NA, we realized that we were sick people. We suffer from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is impossible. Well, what hit me was the fact that they used the word disease. Now, I'd never thought about this. For me, it was always a choice. You either use or you don't use. If you don't want to use, you don't use. But the disease concept is what brought me to the light. You see, when I realized I had a disease, I had something to blame it on because many days, I had a great career going. I accomplished becoming an eye doctor. I worked out of the New York office. I went to Italy for lens crafters years ago when they first opened up. I've done a lot of stuff, but I always went back to using. I could never live my life without somehow using. Relapse after relapse, building up a future, wife, kids, and then go out and use and mess everybody's life up. Their livelihood depended on my ability to earn a living. And so when I decided to just go dig a hole and fall in it, everybody's life is messed up. Everybody in my house. So now the rent can't be paid or the mortgage can't be paid and car notes can't, all of that stuff. and then I would slither around like a greasy, slimy snake, and then I'd come begging back, to take me back. I'm not going to do it again. Oh my God. You know, the excuses. Oh my God. I mean, I don't have to tell y'all. Anybody sitting in this room know about the excuses. You know about how you can't be trusted to tell the truth. You lied anytime your damn lips are moving. You lied about some shit. That's just what addicts do. Addicts, man, I got a guy that I'm sponsoring, and I've been working with him. He got out of jail about 2-3 years ago, and I had allowed him to call me, and I would put money on his books, and I was trying to support him because I've been knowing him, and he's been trying to get and stay clean for probably 20 years. And I felt that this time maybe it was going to get better. Maybe he was going to let this thing happen for him. Because that's what it is. Recovery is like something that you have to allow to happen to you because it's there for the taking. But if you don't want it, you don't have to take it. And I can tell you, it don't happen. Recovery don't happen for people that don't want it. The people that don't want it, don't worry about it because it ain't going to leap up and surprise you and be like, here I am, you're recovered. The bottom line is what happens is you get to a place where you no longer want the life you had. You get to a place where you no longer want to be that slimy, greasy individual that you became somehow without you wanting to be that way. When I realized that I was using against my will, I was like, I didn't really choose this. I don't want to do this, but yet still I'm doing it. And I'm doing it over and over and over again. How many times I said to myself, this is it this time. This is it. This time I'm going to do it. Just to find 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm somewhere in a shooting gallery, shooting dope again. I shot dope, I smoked dope, I snorted dope. I did everything except rub it up my ass. I'll tell you something. If that would have worked for me, I would have been somewhere rubbing it up my ass. Because I was somebody who had to have it. Got to have some, got to have it, got to have it. I once remember going to my mother's house, and she took me somewhere. She took me, I asked her to take me to the bank to get some money. She said, you still on that stuff? I said, yeah, Ma, I got to have it. I got to have it. I got to have it. And I went and got it, and the dope wasn't no good. And I remember I came back, and she said, I dropped you off over there. How you done beat me back home? I said, yeah, because that was a bad shot. She said, a bad shot? I said, yeah, somebody gave me something and had gelatin or something in it. That's all of it. I said, I'm still sick. I'm still sick. The withdrawals are killing me. So my mother said, well, listen, I ain't got nothing for you. I went in her bedroom, took her jewelry. I tried to sneak out the front door, and she came out the side door and met me. And I pulled a pistol on. Wow. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, I got to have it. I said, I want your car. I'm going to take this jewelry. I said, because I got to get straight. I am not going to sit around here sick. I got to have it. And that's the way I lived. I would get up in my house and be sick and go out on the street and just stick a pistol in somebody's car driving by and take whatever I need to take plus the car so I could go to a dope house. Well, living like that, don't you know, my life is a dream today. I do not, I'm going to tell you something. Not using, oh my God, that's one of the most major accomplishments that I've ever had with everything else that I've done in my life. Not using drugs anymore. Not living an illegal life. That's one of the, what the hell is that? Not using.
It's the walkie-talkies.
That's a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
I thought, I said, that's some rude ass person that's just saying, I'm talking and shit. I said, they saying the hell with you. What I'm doing is more important than what you're doing. And I'm going to tell you something. Ain't nothing more important than helping addicts to me. Ain't nothing more important than what I'm doing here tonight. This is my life. My life is a bring it to you whether you take it or not. But this is what recovery is. It's being able to live each day of your life without worrying about having to get high, without worrying about, am I going to do it again? You have to get past the fear. The fear is it's never going to work. It works for them, but not for me. I used to go to treatment centers. They say, you know, out of all of y'all in here, only 5 of y'all gonna make it. And I used to say, no, I ain't got to worry about that because I won't be one of the ones that gonna make it. And that's because I didn't have my mind into it. My head wasn't there. I think to stop using drugs was always for me temporary. It was just something I wanted to do for that moment because somebody asked me to, or somebody begged me to stop. And I would stop to satisfy what they asked. But I was always going to use drugs. My life was like I said, I used to say, I'm going to die with a needle in my arm because I'm a lifelong dope fiend. That's what I am. I said, and I don't give a damn who know it because I ain't trying to hide it from nobody. I use drugs. I got scars all up and down my arm. My friends got abscesses all over. I had a couple of my friends, their feet were so big and swollen because they had abscesses in their feet. They couldn't wear shoes. They had to wear the big galoshes and big old rubber shoes, rubber boots, because they couldn't fit into shoes anymore. I've seen the worst of the worst. I've lived among, you know, I'm from Chicago. And I can tell you that I used to live downtown Chicago on Lower Wacker Drive, sleeping with a piece of cardboard over a heat vent coming from under the building. There was so many of us out there, we had a whole city, tent after tent, box after box, and that was how I lived. And that's what I call it life. This is my life. But I want to tell you right now, right here, you don't have to live like that. If you would rather be here inside a warm place with a warm, soft bed to sleep in, getting 3 meals a day, you got 2 things you can do. One is you can stay here for the rest of your life, or you can stop using and go on and have a life. Those are the 2 things. You can stay up in here. I know people that are professional treatment center, professional Salvation Army people. They go from state to state, from one Sally to the next. They call them Sally guys or something, because that's what they do. They say, how's that Sally over in such and such a place? Man, it's nice. They got this, they got that. And then they move. But they don't have a future plan. So I'm going to invite everybody here to give yourself a chance. Have a future plan. Don't just sit here and do nothing with this time. You know, sit, take your time, be gentle to yourself, because trust me, ain't nobody else going to be that way to you. You're going to be the best to you that you possibly can. Looking for it in all the other places that you can look for it, it ain't going to work because ain't nobody going to love you better than you can love yourself. I tell people that all the time because addicts don't really learn to love themselves. The journey that we take is to hate ourselves. We can stick our chest out and say, I'm this and I'm that, but we hate ourselves. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't want to kill yourself. You know, all the information out there, this fentanyl is killing people. And can you imagine somebody going and ordering up some fentanyl? That's just like say, bring me a gun so I can blow my brains out. I hear they putting it in marijuana now too. Somebody said they putting fentanyl in cocaine. You know, I said, you could go get what you think is going to be a good time and have some fun and don't ever come back again. Some sad shit. It is. That's really sad. And when I come into a place like this, I always think about what brings a person here. Now, if you're here because you really need to be here, because you're trying to get your life out, you know, I say more power to you. But if you're here just to bullshit somebody else, I just want to say you're the one that's going to get bullshit. Because there's no way possible that you can turn this into a positive situation if something don't happen here to trigger you into a positive direction. I want to invite you. And they talk about who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. Put your name on the damn list to be the one that's going to make it. If they tell you there's 500 of y'all in here, everybody's going to make it for one, just step up and be that one. But always give yourself a chance, because that's what works. If this program works, you can take this time and you can utilize it for something positive, or you can take it to bullshit, have fun, laugh, joke. Every time I went to a treatment, I got in a damn relationship. I used to walk in the place looking and scoping out the women and saying, my hair was real long, it was all down my back. I said, who's going to braid my hair? I wasn't Oh, that's who it's gonna be. I used to be scoping them out. You know, the best treatment I ever had is when they had all men. Well, wasn't nobody for me to get in a relationship with. But every time I went to a treatment, I went in there looking for a hostage. Because all the women was in my life back in them days, they were hostage. And I say that because I know damn well somebody up in here is blinking and blinking at one another. That's just how it is. All that shit is natural. You understand? You're going to put men and women in a situation and shake the day in and think they ain't going to get together? Hell yeah. Not only that, that's the farthest relationship of the whole. Sneaking and creeping. Sneaking and creeping. That's the most fun. That's the most fun I've ever had. Anyway, I just had to get that out there because I look around and look at the faces and the things, you know.
Easy now, the fans is watching.
Right. When I look around in here, I say to myself, I said, now, you know, I don't know already looked at who's looking at who and who's touching and who's got to sit over here. So I said, this shit is jumping off the hook up in here. Hey, but if that's what you come here for, then I say, God bless you. But if you come here to get better, you're in the right place. Don't fool yourself while you're trying to fool everybody else. Just remember, this program, Narcotics Anonymous, that we talk about, it works because you work. If you don't work it, you ain't got to worry about it working. My name is Mike. I'm an addict, and thanks for letting me share.